Okay, so welcome to anybody who's in the chat. We are back after 2 weeks of no playing. For everybody not aware, I got COVID, so I had to be out for a bit. But now we're back, and I'm mostly better. But let's do a quick recap here. So last time, there's honestly not that much to recap other than that Griff defeated Lareth and cleared out the dungeon, slaughtered the ogre down there, slaughtered all his people, took his magic items, grabbed a bunch of cash, and they made their way out of there. There was also some elaborations on who, that there's some bad shit going on in Hamlet after, dealing with that merchant and torturing him a bit. Still not much has come out, but there are some things coming out here and there, that there's stuff going on, that Lareth had a leader that's situated in the temple. Some woman that that Griff learned about. But outside that, there wasn't, that's basically the big stuff. And off stream last week, me and Marin just went through and identified magic items, level up his character. I think Griff is now, level 4?
He is indeed.
And do you have a list of the magic items that were identified there?
So I've been painstakingly keeping a copy of a journal, so we've got everything that he's earned in terms of cash and magic items and all kinds of good stuff. So at the minute he has 6,365 silver pieces.
Goddamn.
He managed to get some plate mail +1 from Lareth that Bern identified, and he's given that to Alan. There is a Staff of Striking, which is 2d6 magic damage per charge, and there's 13 charges left in the staff.
Yeah.
There's a Phylactery of Action, which in Worlds Without Number we've said is going to be immunity to charm and paralysis, I think.
Yeah. I think not charm, just paralysis and paralysis-like effects.
Yeah. That's cool. I'll update my notes. And the last one was an Elven Cloak, which I think we said was going to be a +4 bonus on sneak.
Yeah, so your sneak skill, because it basically makes it, I think, like a 1 in 6 or 2. So I looked it up in the OSE book. So basically, it makes you near invisible. Though if you make an attack or do it like any big actions, it does become visible again. So while it's active, when you're sneaking around with it, you're basically super, super hard to see. So I just translate that to as long as it's active, that you have a 4 tier sneak. Just basically really, really strong, but not perfect. And yeah, I think that was pretty much everything, right? And and you just sold a bunch of stuff. Oh, also, you basically gave about 25% of all your stuff found, yes, because Alan, Bari, and Naomi are now demanding more money after all the things they've gone through. All the experience gained in this 1 week has been about a few fucking months of just crazy shit nonstop. So they a lot of them think that they deserve a little bit more. So I believe Bari and Alan asked for 5% each. And I believe Naomi wanted 10% for her more specialized skills instead of the 8%. Since she, when you first met, you guys were talking about how we would perhaps bump it up if she thought she was doing well enough, and she thought she was, and you thought you were, and you have so much cash, I don't think you minded too much anyway. But we are now in Hamlet here. There's going to be some stuff going on. You have a thing tomorrow, your little job for Giroux, to go get the Acolytes from Nulb who are coming in by river. And I believe you also wanted to talk to, was it Bern?
Yeah. Or Rufus, to see if we can get a reward.
Yes. Sorry, yeah, Rufus. Fucking, I don't know. It's funny that both you and I are like Rufus and Bern for some reason. I just get mixed up on who is who. Because neither name is very martial-like or wizard-like. They're both just kind of names. I keep forgetting who's who. Yeah. But you wanted to talk to the martial character. And also you got word from St. Fields that in 2 days there'll be a carriage coming to pick you up to bring you back to Antal, the city where St. Fields Acquisitions, at least this department, is located. All right, so what do you want to do? You're in Hamlet. We'll basically say this is the day after you got back. You sort of rested, recuperated, gave all your cash that you needed to your hirelings. They've gone off and done certain different things here and there. You got your stuff identified, did a few different stuff, but now is the next day.
Excellent. So, I think the first thing Griff is going to do is check in with Rufus.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah, he's
Yep,
going to
perfect.
wander up to the tower.
Yep. So you head
And
over to them over the tower. You go up the hills and then go up the stairs. This time you don't have to really wait for too long before you're let in. And Rufus is there, and he looks pretty pleased. He says, your exploits have preceded you. I heard from Elmo that you guys cleared out that moat house, and well, Elmo's word is as good as any's around here. And since you've done good work, I'm extremely impressed. I'm not gonna lie. I did not really think you had it in you, if I'm being honest.
well, I know, but you know, uh, I said I'd clear it out, and I need people to understand that Griff Sharpeye is a man of his word. A man of his word.
Absolutely. I can't believe it. And he goes over and he unlocks like a chest and pulls out what looks like some sort of fine whiskey of some sort from a local region. It's a little bit early, but he sort of just holds it up to you and cocks an eyebrow.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, and he pulls out two glasses, pours one up for himself, one for you, and he says, "Well, I'm assuming you will want the deed for that land there, as promised by the nobles of the area. I'll make sure to get the paperwork done so that so that we can put that in your name there, um, and you can do whatever you want with it. That might take a day or two. I will have to send off a messenger, but also here is a monetary reward of 1,000 silver pieces for doing this task, because the village of Hamlet is extremely thankful for what you've done for us here. This is tremendous." However, Elmo did mention that there perhaps is some that this is not the end. That there's quite a bit more going on with the temple, as we discussed earlier with the torturing of the Gremag there. And Elmo mentioned that there might be more going on. I can't. It's been quite a crazy few days. Do you know anything more
Yeah.
about what's going on with the temple?
Well, not really, to be honest with you. I mean, I think all we know is there's somebody else there. I mean, presumably someone much more fearful than Lareth. Mind you, he was a tough old cookie. He took a bit of taking down.
Yeah, Elmo mentioned that you practically raised back from the dead immediately. He said you were within an inch of your life, and there's quite a few, quite a bit of damage went all around, all over everybody.
Yeah, it's funny how things like that. It's almost like I was destined to succeed, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you feel like you got this guardian angel watching over you, and I think this time they were definitely.
Perfect.
Thank
Yep.
you, Tim.
Yeah, yeah. um, he says, "Well, fantastic. Yep, there's your money," and he just starts writing off some stuff. And he says, "I'll make sure to try and get you those papers for the deed by tomorrow morning, and I'll figure that out. I'll figure out all the bureaucracy part of it for you."
Yeah. Whereabouts is that bit of land?
The land that you're owed is the actual moat house and like the surrounding area. Like
Oh, perfect.
you're getting that whole thing is that they're giving you. That was what Sunny
Nice.
Fields wanted, was the deed to that
Yeah.
land as a sort of forward operating base.
Uh, well, Rufus, you don't suppose? I mean, Hamlet, it's a nice place. And, we know it's safe now, or safer than it was. Is there an opportunity to buy any more land? Maybe, bit on the edge, maybe.
He says yes, absolutely. Especially for you, I can absolutely put a word in with the elder.
Yeah.
There should be some land that you can buy here. I believe the current going price, I think, for some of it is at least around 500 silver or so. I think it might go up or down depending on what you're looking at, but I'm fairly sure there is stuff for sale. Normally, we don't do that for outsiders such as yourself, but I'm sure we can make an exception for you.
I'll be much obliged. Yeah.
No, there was a place somewhere for how much it costs. We can all figure all that stuff out later,
Yeah.
but you can definitely buy land. I'm fairly sure it's around that much. That's for the initial land buying itself, and there's more money into like paying the carpenters and
Yeah.
all that stuff for the actual building and all that crap. Um, but yeah,
And any more from our friend Gremag yet? Or is he still
um,
being quiet?
Yeah, no, he says no. If anything, you have been a lot more helpful than he has in terms of actually getting us information. He's been very tight-lipped. There's not much else. Honestly, I'm fairly sure he's not going to survive much more torture. So we've been we've been taking it a little bit easy. I think his executions are going to be coming up if he doesn't prove to be any more useful. Unfortunately.
No, there was another one, wasn't there? Another. The journal said something about
Yeah,
two traitors.
we're still searching in town, but we're trying to be a little bit more covert about it, considering we don't want
Yeah.
to scare them off or, tip them off as to, that they're being searched for. Though I think with Green Mag being taken, it's already a given that they're being hunted. But we've kept eyes on the town. Nobody in particular has left and not come back or anything like that. So we think if there's a traitor, they're still there. There's been no word of anybody who's been here for a while. That's left and it hasn't come back.
Well, I mean, would it be the worst thing in the world if they kind of knew you were looking for them and disappeared?
It's not the worst thing, but I guess it's the worry that they might come back at some point, and after things have died down a bit without us realizing. So we're just trying to keep an eye on the traffic going in and out of Hamlet.
Oh, well, fair enough. If I hear anything, I'll be in touch. And
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, also I should say we're probably going to be looking at the temple itself as that information you found that there's stuff going on there. It's I think we need to start sending some people from Hamlet up there just to get check it out. But overall, we're going to be staying here. But if you do end up looking up, if you find yourself up that way, please give us any information you can.
Absolutely.
I think you might have put a bit of you might have messed with their plans for now of attacking Hamlet, but I don't think that'll be the last we've heard of them.
No, well, I don't know. I mean, if they've seen what we've done at the moat house, maybe they won't bother.
Well, I mean, you cut the head off the snake, so hopefully that will at least slow them down for a while until they find somebody else. Though it might aggravate them, so who knows? We're building up our fort and the tower up. We're getting some new siege equipment coming in, so we're going to be getting prepared for anything that they throw at us in the coming months.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like you're well prepared. So, anyway, I got places to go, people to see.
Of course.
Thank you very much. And he taps his side, taps the little bag of silver pieces. It was probably a big bag of silver pieces.
Yeah, this boy, yeah.
Guess I'll have to find somebody to get rid of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just gives you a last cheers, then just sends you on your way. Yeah.
So that's Rufus ticked off. The coach for Sunnyfields is coming in a couple of days, so nothing to do there. I think probably pay a visit to Giroux.
Sounds good. Yeah, you head over to the Grove to go see Giroux. And he's very happy to see you. He's also apparently has heard of the news where it's like, I heard you cleared out the boathouse. Great job.
Yeah. This Lareth guy, he was a tough cookie, but we got there in the end.
Yeah, I'm glad. That was many more people have died trying to go in there, so I'm impressed. That's all I gotta say. What can I do for you?
Well, you did mention you had a group of people coming over from Nob, and you were interested in me chaperoning them or something, I remember.
Yes. Well, I was hoping they should be in tomorrow. I was hoping you might be able to go meet them over there at Nulb and just bring them back down here to my grove to help me out with certain things. As I'm sure you've heard, we are trying to expand the defenses of Hamlet with everything going on. After that information you found, the entire town council is working in their own ways to make sure we're prepared for whatever is coming our way. We all know there's some sort of storm coming, and we want to make sure that we band down the hatches before that happens.
That's a wise thing to do, indeed.
Yes, I will say Nulb's a little bit shifty. It's not the most dangerous place you'll find, and I'm sure after you defeat those guys over the moat house, it shouldn't be any issue for you, but I would absolutely keep eyes on the back of your head. Watch out for pickpockets and murderers alike.
And how do I know these people?
The Acolytes, they should be very obvious compared to all the scum and villainy that you'll find there. They should just be younger men and women wearing robes. They'll have very distinct colors that you'll recognize. He sort of just points to his own kind of uniform-looking greenish-brown hood. in sort of general classic kind of druidic attire, monkish attire.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's the twigs in the air that will probably give it away.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure I can help out. And as you say, no bother from those. I mean, I'll take the party with me, and I'm sure we'll make short work of any troublemakers.
Perfect. I'm glad I hired you for the job. It's
Yeah.
thank you for doing this favor for me for earlier.
No problem. No problem.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So on a wait, so I'm gonna say that I don't think Griff thinks this is a particularly challenging mission. He's got a small number of healing potions. He's still got 3 left. We've got almost no spells, but I don't think Griff is particularly bothered at the minute.
Yeah.
I think Griff thinks that Nob is going to be an easy ride. The later version, it should be a
after Lareth, yeah.
Walk in the park. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. Yep. I'm assuming you're taking your group with you, or anybody who will be around. Is my
absolutely.
guess. Yeah. Should be decent by that point. Yeah.
Griff
what else do you want?
Griff has worked out that because he's actually paying more people a percentage now. So if he gets no money from this endeavor at all, it's fine because 10% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. That's the sort of the gamble, right, of going off and doing things like that. So, and also in terms of money, you gave that there was enough money payout from that last job that everybody that got money from you is pretty much rolling in it right now anyway. So I don't think any of them are too worried about being able to pay rent or anything like that. It's probably more money than any of them have seen, especially in Alan and Bari's case.
I'm sure that plate +1 is probably worth more than Alan would normally see in a couple of years. But
yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that Griff will have done at some point while he's been here over the last couple of days is to make sure that Elmo gives Edos's family that 50 silver pieces that he didn't. So
absolutely, yeah. No, that's I think. Did you get a mind to base all his families, right? That Mary wrote down, I think.
That's the last one now. So
so it's sort of like the same sort of thing. The very very thankful for those donations. It's very generous of you. It's obviously, as I said before, very I would say unheard of, but very rare for that sort of thing to happen. So it's definitely noticed by many people in Hamlet, along with the recent victory in the Moat House.
Yeah. Well, Griff sort of figures if he's got the loyalty of the villagers, then that's got to count for something when the chips are down. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure.
So I think Griff will just do some sort of basic village stuff, probably ponder, where this new plot of land might be. If Rufus can work something out, he'll probably walk around the village seeing if he can find somewhere that looks good. And probably not do much. Ask Elmo to sort of rally everybody together, ready for a trip to Nolb tomorrow.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So basically, after the rest of the day, you sort of just walk around, sort of relax a bit after what has been probably the longest week in your life of just constant battle and stress. The money issues have been replaced with the potential issues of what's lurking around the corner of any place. In terms of places that you sort of have learned that might be for sale, are stuff up in the north near the river over here. There are, I believe, some of these buildings are for sale. If some of the farming houses at all look like an interesting investment to Griff. But overall, it looks like a lot of the land that you could buy is pretty easy to acquire. Like I said, because even though you're an outsider, because you did quite a bit, the attitude towards you has changed somewhat. But yeah, other than that, the rest of the day goes by pretty smoothly. And we get to the next morning where the group is waiting outside for you, ready to go. They're all looking pretty refreshed, looking all pretty happy with themselves. You're seeing some new equipment here and there, some new weapons, some new clothes, that sort of thing. And they all seem to be in pretty high spirits.
Good morning, Elmo.
Elmo gives you a nod. He says, we're going off to Nulp, huh?
Yeah, Drew's got a little. I mentioned it anyway, didn't I? They got a little mission for us to go and pick up some acolytes, bring them back.
Oh, that shouldn't be any trouble. I think we should start heading off now. It's a bit of a trek again up there and back. So we'll
And
probably
Alan, that's some nice plate. That fit you really well. That did.
yeah. Thank
And
you,
they all,
sir. I still need to get a little bit fit, a little bit better, but it's looking great. It's real shiny. He just sort of wraps the chest. He says, "Thank you so much. This has been great. I feel like a real knight now."
yeah. And Griff will walk up with a bit of rag, and he'll just towards the sort of breastplate,
Yeah.
he'll grab his little bit of rag, and
Yeah,
you got a fingerprint on that one.
yeah, just polishing it. I was like, "Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
sir." And he gives you a very quick salute. And it seems to be in very high spirits. You notice that he is now brandishing a longsword. He still has a spear on his back, but he's now taken to a longsword that he acquired from one of the guys in the moat house.
Right. Well, come on then, fellas. We better make a move on.
Sounds good. Everybody gets on their horses, and you guys start riding for Nolb. I believe it takes about half the day to get there. You guys go up the road. Let's see here. Yeah. You pass by. You see the moat house on your right as you go through the road that goes next to it, and you keep riding north all the way up through past some mountains, into some thick trees until finally it opens up to Nolb, which is this. Calling Nolb a village is a generous thing to say. Though there are lots of buildings, they are ramshackle. Some of them are sinking into the earth. It's very muddy. This picture here makes it look a lot nicer. I don't know if you can see that, Martin. I might not have.
Yeah. All good.
Oh, you can't see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. You can see that even though there's lots of buildings, there's lots of moss and decay, and the hooves of your horses kind of sort of slink slowly into the mud as they go through. It looks like a very decrepit shadow of what was probably once a better town. But yeah, you walk by, you see different people here and there. A lot of them don't look at you. They sort of close their shutters. Some walk away. Some of them spit on the ground as you cross by them. Lots of gnarled and shifty-looking men. And then you sort of cross through town, and you see where the docks are, where the ships are coming in. And you see a riverboat has come in a little while ago. And you see what looks like about... six young men and women in hoods that look very much like what Giroux described. And you notice that they have bags by their feet. And they're kind of looking around a little nervously as like three men in leather armor, and they're not brandishing any weapons, but they have weapons on their sides, and they're kind of, it looks like they're intimidating this group of six nervous young people as they're sort of talking and laughing. But it doesn't look like the acolytes are laughing themselves, but they just said something that made a few of them quite uncomfortable. You didn't quite hear what it was, but the scene does not look very nice.
So I think we'll just approach the riverboat.
Sounds good. Yeah, and so are you saying, did you just sort of just come up your whole group, just try and get their attention without saying anything, or are you gonna speak up?
So we're here on the map at the minute, are we? Round about here.
Yeah, around this
Yeah.
part. Yeah, like they're off, like they're right next to the riverboat. They're off. Their bags are next to them. Like they just got off the ship a little while ago. So they're just sort of like being jostled a little bit by this group of hooligans that are just around them.
So Griff fancies a bit of a lark here, so I think he's just going to walk. So everyone else is going to be quite close by, but Griff's just going to walk over to the acolytes and completely ignore the three people in the leather armor. Yeah, you must be Giroux's lot.
Yeah, and one of the women sort of like just flips her neck towards you. She's like, "Oh, yes, sir. Are you here to pick us up? We were told there would be somebody to meet us here."
Yep, sorry, running a bit late there. We weren't. I don't know. You get stuck in a tavern, but yeah, we got on the road in the end. So sorry for the delay, but yeah. This is all of you here, is it? Your bags?
Yeah, they all sort of, so they also have nod, and you see the three hooligans. You see the one sort of like the leader of this group looks like he's about to say something. And as he like approaches you, he notices there's Elmo and Alan right behind you, as well as the rest of the group all still on their horses, and he just thinks better of it, and kind of just gives this frown. And just looks as the two other guys, and they just sort of walk off. But you can tell like they're all sort of puffing out their chests. They're not saying much, but there's that level of like there's part of them that wants to say something. But looking at the group of you, this was absolutely not worth it. They were already outnumbered as it is, let alone a group of armed men and women just showed up. But yeah, you see them kind of just recede into the seedy sort of alleys here. And disappear. And the acolytes already look a little bit relaxed. It's like, well, should we get a move on? Our we just got here just about 30 minutes ago, and it's already been not a great experience.
Yeah, who were they?
We don't know. We just got off, and well, they were saying they could show us around town, and they could take us down to the bar and stuff, and we said no, and they started pushing around some of us. It looked like it was about to get ugly before you got here, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, no problem, no problem. I mean, that's what we're here for at the end of the day. I'm sure Jury wouldn't have sent us if it wasn't a job to do, so...
Absolutely, yeah. We've never been around this part of the world. It's is Hamlet like this?
Oh, God, no. No, I mean, if you stand here too long in one place, it looks like you'll sink. And Griff sort of looks down at his feet and lifts his boots out. And...
yeah, everybody's just covered in mud, just like around like their feet and stuff. Like, yeah, it's not real nice. And like you're looking around, and you're seeing like now that you're sort of more focused on everything around you without these possible threats, you are hit by the smell of all like the like fish carcasses being just sort of slaughtered right there, being thrown back in the water. It looks like the market is in full swing here. Lots of people are moving around, and you are just being assaulted by all the senses of this little place. For a town so small, it certainly has quite the impact on your senses.
Oh, I mean, as I don't know. Griff's got a bit of an affinity, I think, with the whole kind of feel of this place, given his background. So, as an ex-bandit, I think he feels kind of strangely at home here. The shovel huts and the the decay and the muck and all the rest of it. There's a weird sense of home to it.
Yeah, familiarity. Yeah, no, Griff has definitely spent many times in places like this. Absolutely.
I think his first instinct is probably to head to the nearest tavern, but he reminds himself that he's got a job to do, and these poor acolytes probably don't want to be dragged round the bowels of this place. So
yeah, they seem all too happy to get out of here.
Well, right then, guys. Elmo, Alan, I don't know what Berg. If you follow up the rear, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not met with a few surprises. Myself and the others will lead, and if you guys want to stay in the middle, where it's nice and safe, we'll head back.
Sounds good. Yep. That seems like everybody's ready to go. I'll say, yeah, one thing you notice if you're just sort of looking around as you guys are like starting to get all the stuff together, get ready to depart. You do notice probably like the only real building of like substantial note in this town, as most of them just look like ramshackle shacks, is a place called the Waterside Hostel, which might just be if you do ever end up coming down here to drink for whatever reason that would be, that would probably be the place to go, especially if you're perhaps looking for ne'er-do-wells for any jobs or anything like that. It looks like as run down as everywhere else, but it's a bit of a bigger building, and you're already seeing a few people here and there kind of just, even though it's the middle of the day, just stumbling out of the front doors. Maybe some people just on the side, just already in the alleyway, just passed out. It is not a nice place. But yeah, you guys get your stuff together, and you head back for Hamlet. It's a bit of a slow trip through. You do start to notice that there's like a little bit of a group kind of following you through town. Nobody's getting too close, but you do notice almost like a group of like, probably like men in their early 30s, 20s, maybe a few teenagers, kind of between the alleyways, kind of following you. But as you leave town, they start to disperse. But you can't get the feeling off your head that, there's somebody watching you the whole time. And your group makes it out of there. I'm assuming the Acolytes are kind of just on the back of the horses with the rest of the group. Just sort of been put there. And you guys ride back to Hamlet. It does start to get dark as you finally make it back. And that whole time, it does feel like you've had sort of like this feeling you can't shake, that you've been watched from the moment you entered Nulb, and that feeling just hasn't gone away yet. But you make it back to Jeru with the Acolytes, and he seems extremely pleased. Like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you did. Was there any trouble?
It's hard to say in a place like Nulb. I mean, nothing happened when we were there, but I mean, who knows? It could well have done.
Yes. Well, it's unfortunate, but if you do end up going to the temple, you're probably going to get more acquainted with that place, considering it's just it's just about 15, 20 minutes away from the temple, if you need to buy supplies and that sort of thing. But I would absolutely advise, if you do stay there, definitely never stay there alone. And if you do, sleeping is not necessarily advised without at least a guard or two.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe sleeping on the outside of town, tent maybe. But I take your point. It's not a place I think I'd sleep lightly.
No, but the land is cheap if you're ever looking to buy houses there. Though I don't know if it's worth it.
I'll probably sink, I reckon.
Yes, you might probably have to make a 3-story house or something just to get a nice single story.
Anyway, well, I mean, I was sort of tempted to have a bit of look around, but your people here didn't seem particularly keen on the place. I didn't think it was fair to drag them into a rowdy bar, or I don't know, whatever else we might have discovered there.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, he's listening, he's just sort of instructing them to go around the fire and grab some soup and stuff that he's made, and just sort of telling them, he's like, yes, no, that Nulb is no place for these youngins, but I'm sure in time they'll be a lot more accustomed to the things they need to do here. They're still very early on in their training.
Yeah. So Griff will wander over to one of them and say, the one that asked about whether Nulb was like Hamlet, and say, yeah, so what do you reckon of Hamlet then? Oh, it's a lot better than Nulb, isn't it?
Yeah, he's already shoving his face full of food. He's like, yes, no, it's quite a bit nicer. My as you said, my feet aren't sinking into the ground, so it's already barren that way, and the smell's gone too.
Yeah, funny old place, isn't it, Noel? But I'm sure you guys will like it here.
Yeah, I just I wish they would have let us go by road instead of through the river, but they said it cost too much. So
yeah, difficult to work that one out, but there you go.
Yeah, they all seem pleased and a lot more relaxed now. They've been more relaxed ever since they left Nulb, but finally it seems like they can actually properly rest after probably quite a few weeks of travel.
Right. And Griff sort of turns to face everyone else. Thank you very much again for your help. I'm afraid it was a little bit of a boring expedition. I mean, we didn't really kill any orcs or zombies or goblins or anything.
What are these zombies? a new form of zombie. Yeah. No, they all seem totally okay with that. They're all still in very high spirits. If anything, they're pretty happy for a quick, easy job. They're all doing pretty okay money wise, and the other group, the ones who aren't on percentages, still got paid for their time. So for them, whether they kill lots or do nothing, they all seem totally pleased with it, and they're happy with that.
And I don't know if you remember, but Griff was planning on taking a barrel of brandy down to try and somehow use it with Lubash to fool him into some cunning plan, and he never did.
Did you leave that? Did you end up leaving that with? Did you leave one with the bar to give out to the adventurers that were with you in case they ever wanted drinks? Just give them that until it runs out.
So Griff is gonna say, well, look, I'll tell you what, it wasn't particularly productive, but I'm gonna leave that other barrel of brandy at the beckoning bench, and anyone who fancies a glass, then feel free.
All right, and they all sort of clap their hands like, well, I guess I know where I'm going, and they start heading off in that direction. You coming with us, boss?
Yeah, why not?
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to do, Martin, before you end up heading off to Sunny Fields? Is there anything you want to cover either tonight or tomorrow before the carriage arrives?
No, I think Griff is feeling on top of the world. Everything's fine. He went to Nob. Nob was going to be a problem, but actually it wasn't really. So yeah, he's not worried about a thing.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And so you sort of go through. You have your drinks. And that feeling of being watched still seems to just, I don't know, you sort of look around the tavern, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, but that feeling that you got in Nulb is still not really left you. And yeah, the next morning, you get up, you grab your stuff. The bartender goes, are you refilling your room for the next week or so? Or are you gonna pay for the rest of the week or month or however long you're staying here? He's just sort of cleaning up while you got a little bit early.
Yeah, that's a good point. I suppose I probably do owe you a bit more money. Yeah, let's grab another week then, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, he takes your cash, so I'll leave the room vacant there for you. Because he sees he mentions that there's been a carriage and a driver has come in looking for you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Oslo. I just got a trip to make, and I'm sure I'll be back again.
Okay, yeah. And he sort of points out to where the guy is. And you grab your stuff and you head over. And when you're going over to the carriage, you hear footsteps right up behind you. And you see Alan. He's like, "Sir, can I come with you? I'd like to. I heard there's some. I'd like to get this suit properly fitted."
Yeah, sure. There's some good blacksmiths, so I don't think you'd have a problem.
Yeah, and there might also be some training. You're going back to the city, right? Where you came from?
Yeah, only temporarily. Then I'll think I'm coming back here for the I don't know. The guys need a hand with the temple, I think. So I don't know if there was even half the treasure that there was in the temple that there is in the moat house. Then I think we'll be doing all right.
Oh, perfect. And he also he sort of pats his pockets. And says, "Also, I went over and I grabbed this from Rufus for you. It's the deed." He said he caught me in the bar last night before we were fully sauced, and he said to give this to you. You had already gone to bed, and he just hands it to you.
Oh, well remembered, Alan. I almost forgot that.
Perfect.
Never mind.
He throws his armor and equipment into the back of the carriage and hops in. And the driver just waits for you to get in. And then you start heading back to Anatol. It's a pretty long trip, if I remember correctly. I think, was it like a few days or so?
I don't think I wrote it down, to be honest. But
I can't remember either. Not that really matters, but it's far enough away that it is nicer this time to be going in a carriage actually meant for you, and not a convoy carriage. And you make it back to the city. And we're going to do a little bit of a almost montage here. Alan goes off. He tells you where he's going to be staying, and that he's going to go get some training in with some stuff, and use a bunch of this newfound cash that is burning a hole in his pocket to get some stuff done and buy some things. And in fact, you head over to Sunnyfields Acquisitions. You talk with Sarah. She hands you your 2,000 silver reward for that. And basically, a lot of what goes on next for the next sort of even there's actually a few weeks, Martin, probably about 2 or 3. There's you're sort of held there to be a witness for the stuff you've done, talking with the nobles about who deserves the deed for this and that, passing over the rights from you over to Sunny Fields. I'm assuming you're doing that as part of the job to get paid.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things, going through lots of bureaucracy. Sunny Fields is a bunch of stuff, until finally you have a meeting with Sarah again. Which says, so we after all this, finally took over for the moat house. We'll be sending people out there to start renovating it and getting it into tip-top shape for our forward people looking to, our cartographers and all that sort of thing. But now we have this whole new this job with the temple that we'd like to assign you to. We have a huge number of clients. Well, I shouldn't say huge. A few number of huge clients, rather, who are always looking for underground giant megastructures to turn into bunkers for the impending doom of the world when that comes around. So we would like for you to go there. We've learned that with this new information you found, with all the creatures coming out of there and like the different factions like Lareth, that there must be some way in. So if you can go in there and clear that all out, we'll pay you 50,000 silver pieces. And of course, you have to keep whatever you find there, just like with the moat house. And Sunny Fields would be willing to, just like this last job, pay you for all that stuff, and then we'll get the deed for the land and consider it a job well done.
Right, okay. 50,000, you say?
Yes, does that seem agreeable to you?
Would Griff know what a temple would go for normally? I mean, I've no idea.
I mean, I would say with how much you found in this other little moat house,
Yeah.
that, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a pittance at all, but I would say, like, it's, you could probably get a hell of a lot more than that if you were to actually get the deed for the temple and sell it somewhere. Or if you could find someone to sell it to, let alone the amount of money you might be able to find there. So, I would say the dangers are pretty high as well, that you would also know from some of the things you've heard.
Well, I must admit, I don't know. I must be able to nudge you a little bit higher. I mean, I would imagine something like that. There's got to be something pretty ugly in there, and of course, you're getting the land as well. It's not just about clearing it out; it's about getting the land for you.
Absolutely. Well, how much would you like?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I reckon you're going to sell it for 2 million silver. By the time I know you got some renovation costs, you're gonna have to do the place up and get it on the market, that sort of stuff. I know that sort of thing ain't cheap, but I was sort of thinking more in the region of 100,000 silver pieces. Sounded like a fraction of the costs that you'd have to pay for the rest of it.
Yeah, and like before you even get the sense out, she goes, done. 100,000 silver pieces for clear out the temple.
Griff is gutted because clearly that was far too low. Well, he says, I'm a man of my word, so 100,000 it is.
Remember, guy, and she moves over the papers. You see that it's been changed to 100,000. You see like to your left a little note marking down how much the cost could have been here and there, and just like, oh, it is like I feel like Griff's a pretty smart guy. He's like, damn it, I could have got a lot more than that for this. But she seems all too happy with this deal, and sells it off to you for 100, or best stuff. Does the deal at 100,000 silver pieces for clearing out the Temple of Elemental Evil.
In the back of his mind, Griff is wondering what the hell he's going to do with this sort of money.
Yeah. So that'll be the next thing.
Maybe literally build a place out of it.
Yeah,
get
really
these coins and glue them together.
Yeah. Well, especially with what you're probably gonna find if in the fucking moat house you found like 10,000.
Right. I suppose I better head back there, but yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. So that goes on for a while. You like do all that stuff we covered, dealing with Sunny Fields and all that crap, all the really boring bureaucracy stuff that Griff is probably falling asleep in like giant council rooms and all that sort of thing. And when you're ready to depart, you meet Alan again. He's looking in great shape. It looks like he's been training a lot while you were doing this for the last few weeks, and he is happy to return to Hamlet. He says, I miss my family. It's gonna be nice to actually finally get back there, and but this has been nice to finally see the big city. This is my first time, and but he is ready to go with you back to Hamlet.
Well, come on then. Yeah, that armor. Yeah, but you've is it better fit now?
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like it's perfectly form-fitting to him. It looks like he's added like quite a bit of nice few new dents to it from all his training that have been sort of buffed out and dented again. But it's looking like it's like gleaming in the sun. He's starting. I would say you even probably notice he looks a little bit more aged after the harrowing events that you guys have gone through in just that week. He's looking a little bit older.
Well, come on then, Alan. I did write down last time it was a 3-day trip from.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Kind of told to Hamlet, so yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you take you guys get the carriage that Seinfeld's provided back to Hamlet. And on the last day you're about to make it into Hamlet in the evening, you see you feel the carriage come to a stop. and you hear the driver say, "Hey, you, get out of the road." And you hear an unfamiliar voice going, "Who are you carrying, man?" And the driver doesn't respond very quickly, and he repeats the question, and the driver goes, I'm not at liberty to divulge." And then you hear like a dunk, and some choking noises coming from the driver. What do you want to do?
Griff will jump out of the carriage.
Yep. So you jump out of the carriage, and Alan joins you as well as he jumps out with you. And you see the driver has an arrow through his throat. And in front of the carriage is what looks like a man in a full black cloak. His face is completely covered by a hood, and he's about to grab another arrow.
Griff will follow and also grab an arrow and...
Sounds good. Yeah, so immediately, I would say you probably
bow.
don't have your weapons right there with you, so you're gonna run to try and grab your like gear from like the back there. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and you hear him say, "Yeah, exactly the one I was looking for." But you're now sort of like behind the carriage, and we'll go into combat here as Alan also needs to grab his gear.
Excellent. Initiative or?
Yep. Give me your initiative. Okay.
Oh dear.
So, I'll say that you and Griff, or no, sorry, you and Alan do have your armor on, but you guys just don't have your weapons. So he fires off an arrow at you. I think that's not going to hit, right? You have a... Oh, wait, no. That is going to hit, isn't it?
Thanks. Yeah, that is gonna... Oh, so I'm looking at my hit points, idiot. I don't know why. Yes, that's gonna hit.
Okay, yeah. So you run to the back, and an arrow gets you right in the shoulder, and you'll take 3 damage.
Yeah.
And you hear Alan go, "Boss!" And Alan immediately grabs his sword and shield. What do we do?
Yeah, get him. Who the hell are you? Why are you here?
And you see him knock another arrow, and he's like, "This is for Lareth."
Who?
Lareth! You should remember him. You just killed him a few weeks ago.
I'm a traveling blacksmith. Look, I've just done this commission here. We've been to a trade show. What the hell are you doing?
I recognize you, Griff Sharp Eye. You're not getting out of this.
Oh well, so be it.
And so what do you want to do? You're able to go. So it's you and Alan's turn.
So Griff will load his bow with an arrow.
Okay.
And let rip. Ooh.
Nice. Okay, let's see here. Nice. Oh my god. Yeah, you get a big shot right in his chest. You nearly take him like off of his feet as he's pushed backwards by the shot. And then Alan closed the distance after you told him to run after him. And Alan...
Try and keep him alive, Alan.
He says, "You want me to keep him alive?"
Yeah, I want to question him if we can.
All right. And Alan goes in with a big sword attack. And Alan is now a warrior, so he's going to try and reroll that because he has the veteran's luck thing. So the thing it says the warrior may turn a missed attack they made into a hit. Oh, so it just hits. Okay, sounds good. So he just does the damage. So he does 5 damage. He slices across. So you fire, and immediately closing distance, he stabs into. He slashes across this assassin. All right, and then it's the assassin's turn, and he is bleeding profusely. He drops his bow, pulls out a sword, and attacks Alan. Though he is way too hurt, and he is missing. He can't hit with his shock or make it. So he just bounces off Alan's armor. And you see him starting to back off as he's bleeding profusely as he starts to try and move off of the road into the trees.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I got a bow trained on you. If you move again, I'll do what I did before.
And he says, "I'll die before I give in to you, Griff.
Well, what's the point in that?
I'll die before I say anything to you.
There's no honor amongst assassins. What are you doing?
There's honor for Lareth. He was a good man." And he's just moving backwards into the trees. He's just gonna keep moving.
Elmo, just this guy is beyond hope, and Griff's just going to loose another arrow. Griff suspects that even if we did manage to capture him and tie him up, he probably wouldn't say anything.
Oh my god. Yeah, as he's about to like sort of disappear into the like the darkness of the trees, your arrow just meets him right in the head, and he's taken off his feet and he's just hits the ground dead.
Well, he didn't really seem to want to talk, did he? So it was the only thing we could do. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, Alan, but this Lareth does seem to attract fanatics.
I'd say so, sir. And he walks over, and he says, "Look, he has the same necklace as the others." And he just rips it off and shows it to you. Do you think there'll be others?
I would have thought so, to be honest with you. I mean, they're getting everywhere, aren't they? I was going to ask him, look, you're not to tell anybody, but we think there's another traitor in the village.
Another traitor? Do you have any idea who it is?
None at all. But I was hoping to grill this guy and find out if he knew anything. But never mind.
And he uncovers like the hood and stuff. He's like, I don't recognize him, sir. I don't think he's from Hamlet.
No, I don't remember seeing him in the moat house, so God knows how he knew who I was. But yeah.
Oh no, we lost our driver, sir. Poor guy.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. Well, I can drive a carriage. Used to do a bit of that back in the day, you know. Never my carriages I was driving, but I used to get quite good at it.
He says, "All right, I'm not very good with the bow, but I can take yours in case we come across any more people."
Yeah, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I'm going to dress up as a driver as well, so maybe people will give me a second chance.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys just take the driver, and just I'm assuming either put him in the back or just put him on the side of the road and just under some rock or something, and then go off.
We'll put him in the carriage and on the top or something, and Griff will grab the cloak from the driver and stick it on so he looks like a driver. We will search the assassin and just see if he's got anything else on him.
Yeah, it looks like he has like a few silver coins.
Yep.
One silver coin on him. It does look like the minting of the silver coin is extremely old. It's not one that you recognize of like a regular sort of like regional minting that you recognize. But outside of that, there's not much else on him other than his weapons and a necklace you found on him.
Anything sort of? Has he got any scars on his face? Anything that anyone might recognize him by?
Yeah, I would say you look at him and he doesn't necessarily have anything that would be super distinctive. I'm trying to think. No, there's nothing really. He seems honestly extremely. I'd say what he does look like. He does look a little bit unhealthy, and not like in like he's not like overweight or anything like that. But he looks almost like he has like a sickly sort of pallor to him. He just looks like almost like very, and not from being killed. Literally, it looks like he had like just sort of almost like on his face, probably like a little bit of, perhaps some past disease had kind of, sort of made his skin a little bit mottled, but it looks sort of like yellowish and white and just very much, I don't know, like he was maybe suffering from something or just, was not living a very healthy lifestyle.
Griff was thinking about putting him in the carriage and taking him back to Hamlet, but seeing the state of him, I think he's going to think better of it. He doesn't want to catch whatever he's got or had, so...
No, fair enough. That makes sense. Yeah.
Uh, well, come on then, Alan. Let's see if I still got the magic with the horses, and he'll jump up in the driver's position.
Sounds good. Yeah, and you head off. You put the guy in the back. You get you guys cloak on, and you guys head into Hamlet. Finally making it back, you see the familiar sight of all the village and all the houses. Nothing seems to ever change here, though, except for one thing. It does look like the defenses have been modified since you've been gone. It looks like the fort that's being built is much further along. A lot more of the stones have been put down. It looks like there's more militiamen there. You're seeing some more siege weapons like scorpions around. It does look like they are getting the eastern side of Hamlet a lot more ready for any potential attacks. But yeah, outside that, it looks like everything's pretty much the same. You go into town, people are happy to see Alan and you after this little month of you guys not being there. I'm assuming you're there like near the bartender and stuff, who's like very happy to see you again. And Elmo and everybody else is there. They're all like, "Oh my god, you're finally back."
Yeah, are you amazed at just how much paperwork and stuff you got to fill in? But we got there in the end. Sorry, Osler, I said I'd take the room for a week. I hope it's still available. I will, of course, make up any shortfall there. Another 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just says, "Yeah, no, not a problem." And you guys just make the difference of whatever it is. And he says, "Oh, we thought you ran off with Alan. We thought you stole him from us, but it's good to see you again."
No, we're back. Can't get rid of me that easily. Although someone certainly tried. And Griff will explain what happened on the way back.
He says, "Oh, that's not good. That's not been That's the first I've heard of it. There's not been any other attacks like that. Have you dealt with anybody else while you were in the city? Was it somebody trying to rob you or anything of your money?"
No, I had this strange feeling that someone was after me from Nob. But I mean, came back for a few days before, a day before going, so it doesn't make sense that anyone would have followed me there and then back again, does it? So no, I don't remember anyone.
Strange. Well, I guess keep your eyes out. There might be more out there. These I will say the attacks around here, the caravan hits have been slowed down from the moat house, but there's still other creatures that have been seen in the woods, and there's still attacks going on, and it's still not safe in these parts. So, if anything, things are getting more dangerous.
Well, that's not what we wanted. Not after clearing that place out. But
no, not at all. Also mentioned you didn't happen to sell that deed to anybody, did you? We've had some group from this company called St. Fields who's coming into town and buying supplies to build up that moat house.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be good to I don't know. A problem with moat houses and that sort of thing. You get all sorts of people coming in and going out there, and left to its own devices, I'm sure it'll fill up with another group of bloody bandits and fanatics and all the rest of it. So I thought, well, what better than to sell it to, I don't know, the rich? And I thought, if you can get a nice group of rich people in there, all they'll be doing is come into Omelette, they'll be paying premium prices for clothes and for food, and it'll really kickstart the local economy. Yeah, just imagine, you'll be able to buy the best brandy, sell the best brandies, and yeah, I mean, it'll make everyone in here millionaires.
Yeah, and he laughed at that. He says, "Well, it's better than them coming into town like they kept trying to." So, they haven't been able to buy any land here. So I guess at least they could buy that and fuck off. But yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. They have been spending way too much money on our lumber and stones and masons and carpenters and stuff. So people here can't complain too much, I guess, but they will anyway.
Yeah, I mean, my advice is just keep putting the prices up. They'll, where else are they gonna go?
That's a good point. Yes.
Nice little earner for you. That's what I say.
Yeah, and also just hands you a drink, and he's pretty happy with that sort of response. He seemed at first a little bit stern with the question, but once your response came back, he lined up quite a bit off that. But yeah, and you guys bought your room. You just get your stuff set up there. Is there anything else you want to do in town? It is getting dark now. You do. Your group does want you to sort of grab a drink and hang out and let them know what's been going on while you've been gone for the last few weeks. And they're
So
asking,
Griff,
so are we going to the temple? Elmo's like, are we heading up there next at some point?
yeah, I think we should. Why not? I mean, we all did very well, didn't we? And Griff will sort of tap his side of his pocket again. No doubt it's still full of silver. Yeah, maybe we can get a bit more. Alan had some nice armor out of it, so maybe we can find some other little trinkets and treats.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And it does look like everybody is still pretty flush with it. Money is burned slowly in Hamlet, and they all seem very happy to be back and getting back into work and doing things. Yeah,
Well, I mean, do you fancy a trip tomorrow?
yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
I've been pretty much just doing some odd jobs here and there since you've been gone, so there hasn't really been much else going on around here other than I have noticed there have been a few groups coming through Hamlet have gone to the temple to check it out. I haven't seen any
Ah.
return though.
Oh, well, that's not a good sign.
No, it's not. I mean, they might have been staying up in Nulb where it's closer, but
Yeah.
yeah, that whole area, even outside the temple, is pretty dangerous. So who knows?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Naomi, we should probably go and see Burn
Mhm.
on the way back through, and just see if he's got any more scrolls.
That works for me.
Yeah.
I've been able to sort of get better at reading some of these in here. So hopefully, if he has any good ones, we can definitely use those to our advantage.
Oh, that'll be good. That will. Well, I mean, it's certainly helped us out before. I don't think we've ever come back with any. So, um, yeah, not wasted money, is it? So, okay then. Well, hopefully there's still a bit of brandy beyond the bar. Remember, not too much tomorrow. We don't want to be having a repeat of last time we went with yeah, a bit of a skimful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll try and behave tonight, boss.
Yeah, rolling all them ones. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's all the hangovers, the
yeah.
hangover modifiers I was adding in the background. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys just enjoy the night, recounting tales, people talking about what they've been doing, and then eventually you guys all head up and close up for the night.
So
Until
Griff is a little bit paranoid now after being hunted down in a carriage. So he's
yeah,
going to plant various things around the room. So he's going to put some stuff. If there's a window in his room, he's going to sort of put the chair in front of it, and he's going to just put like a load of crap on it. So not to stop anyone from getting in, but if they do, then they'll have to tread on the
it'll
chair and just make a noise. Yeah,
yeah, it'll alert you and that sort of thing. Yeah, and you're
yeah.
just like putting
Same with
stuff
the
like on the
door.
floor and stuff, and just in case anybody tries to get in here, you'll be
If
awoken.
he's got a bed he can move, then he'll put the bed in
Yeah,
front of the
yeah.
door, so someone to bang bang, just slam it into the
Yeah.
bed.
Do you have your sword in your bed with you, or is there just
Yep,
yeah, just right there? Yeah,
under the pillow.
sounds good. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you sleep for the rest of the night. It's a little bit of a restless night as you're sort of think about what happened earlier in the day, and how you have this big task ahead of you. But you do finally find sleep, and
Yeah.
wake up the next morning. You guys grab your food, get all your stuff together, and you head out to find your group just waiting outside, ready to go. Some of them look like they're a little bit tired, probably haven't been used to getting up early in a while. But overall, they seem excited to get back out there and on the road.
Right. Well, remember we're gonna head on over to Burns Tower, and me and Naomi are gonna pop in. You can have a chat with the guards, and we won't be long.
So that was good. Yep. So you guys head on down past the tower. The rest of them just sort of wait at the bottom of the hill while you and Naomi go up there. You guys wait for a while, finally get in, and get up to Burn. And he's just there like, it's you again. It's been so nice. It's been such a long time since I've seen you. What can I do for you?
I know. I mean, we must be your best customer, eh?
Unfortunately.
Well, I've come to make your day again. I don't suppose you can help me with some more scrolls. You did such a fantastic job last time. We're gonna need some more.
Yeah, so I have a few here for you. And I believe what was it 100 silver pieces per level? Was that
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah. One second, I'm just gonna grab my OSE book there.
Oh,
Alright. So let's see what he has. So in terms of just like the easy classic ones, he has like several scrolls of cure light wounds. He has about 3 of those.
We'll buy them all.
If you want those, yep, you can grab those for sure. He has. Yeah, yeah. He has. I'm just going to do the first level spells for you first, and then we'll do the next ones. He has a scroll of magic missile.
Yeah.
A scroll of detect magic.
We will grab them both.
Sounds good. In terms of level 2 spells, he has a scroll of knock.
Ooh, we'll have knock.
A scroll of web.
Web is really cool.
And
saved us last time from.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. And for level 3 spells, he has a lightning bolt scroll.
That's so we'll spend a good chunk of Griff's. Yeah.
Cash. Yeah, grabbing all those.
So that's 500 for the level 1s, 400 for the level 2s, and 300 for the level 3, which is a grand total of 1,200 silver pieces.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so you counted all that money off in a big pile. Burn is happy to just sort of grab it, throw it into a little bag, grab all the scrolls. Naomi grabs them, and it looks like she has some nice new scroll holders. She's not her bag's not completely exploding. It still looks like it's overstuffed, and she still looks completely disorganized, but her new scroll holders are quite nice, and she starts putting them in there and strapping them to her bag. She says, thank you, sir. That'll come in handy.
No problem. Burn, can I interest you in a larger chest? I think you're going to need it with all that money.
He says, do not worry. I have plenty of space. But if you have some sort of magical chest, I'd be interested in buying it if it has any value.
Well, I'm sure I can find you something. How about I've heard stories about these bags. You can, I don't know, you just seem to be able to get more in them than you'd expect.
Yes. If right now I have my big safe, but if you find me a bag of holding, I would absolutely buy it off of you.
Where is how big is your big safe?
And he points sort of to the back wall, and you can sort of see like the dial and everything else. And looking at the seams, it looks like most of the wall that makes up that part of the wall looks like it is the safe, like it's a gigantic sort of bank vault kind of safe. Now it also looks like there can't be that much space on the other side with this where the tower is, but at the same time this room has also looked a lot bigger than it should. So it's really hard to know how much this room is kind of messing with your eyes as you kind of look around at all the different tapestries and rugs and everything, where it's like it's really hard to get an idea of how big anything is in this room outside of like yourself and Naomi.
Well, that's quite a safe you got there. Have you got any people in it?
Nobody still alive.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much for your help.
Not a problem.
And you say hello to him for me.
Yeah, and he grabs your money, and he just leads you out and then closes the door behind you as quickly as he always does.
Oh, Naomi, he's not got a funny bone in his body. He's a weird one, is he?
Yeah, no, it's just like, yeah, he gives me the creeps.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'm not quite sure I want to be in his safe, but yeah.
Yes, and Naomi just immediately starts just taking off down the stairs. Not like full sprint, but just like definitely almost half skipping down away from the top of the tower, with you in tow, until you guys meet back up with the group.
Right, we're ready to go.
Perfect. Yep. And everybody gets together, and you guys head off past everything and onto the road. And so it's quite a distance away. You're heading for the temple, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Just want to make sure.
Oh, and I guess we've got to go through Knoll, haven't we? Looking at the map.
Yeah, there could be another way through. Oh boy. Okay, this should be interesting. There could be another way through. If you did want to go looking for that, you can. But Nulb is sort of like, you don't have to go straight through Nulb, but you definitely have to sort of cross it. Like, you might get the attention of some people in Nulb as you cross by, basically. So it's up
Yeah.
to you if you want to try and find a way to ford the river. If there might be like a bridge down below that's a little bit old or unknown.
I think, yeah, I think that will be worth doing. I'm a bit nervous about going into Nob, only for people to sort of camp out
Yeah.
outside the temple if we're a bit weak, sort of. Yeah, need to make a quick getaway. Only to run into some more trouble. So I think, yeah, I think we will try and avoid any attention.
Okay, sounds good.
If we can find another bridge, that'll be good.
Yeah. So, you make your way first past the moat house ruins as you go up through the mountains there, and then coming down towards you, you see a bunch of dust being kicked up, and you see the silhouette of many riders coming down the road towards you. It's hard to know if they've spotted you yet, but you're still in the sort of like forested, mountainous kind of region, and they are coming down the road in your direction. There's probably about maybe 20 to 30 of them, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell with the numbers.
Yeah, so I think we're going to head off the road, and we're not here to beat up riders. We're here to beat up the temple.
Yeah, sounds good. Do you want to just give me, we'll say a sneak check?
Yeah.
And I'll say this won't have your bonus. This is more like a group
Yeah.
sneak almost, basically. So it'd be your normal sneak.
That sounds fair. Ooh.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Yeah. So you immediately spot that. Elmo immediately orders the others to get off the side of the road, and you guys go down into the ditch. You bring your horses deeper past behind the trees. Some of them are holding like their mouths closed. As you can see what looks like a bunch of mottled green and purple humanoids. Some look like they're white and pink, riding through. It's hard to really tell what they're riding. They're definitely not horses, but maybe some sort of mixture of like horse and dog, mixed with perhaps some sort of weird cat. But they're all sort of different colors of brown and sort of layer tan, and they just ride through, just kicking up dust, hollering and hooting as they make their way through the road here, and then they go off past you.
Would Griff know what these are? Would he have seen these things before?
Yeah, give me a no check. Nice. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say it was hard to tell really with how fast they were going. But they definitely looked like some sort of form of maybe goblin or orc, and if not those, then some sort of familial kind of species that's very close to that. Some sort of goblinoid.
Well, Griff says to him, well, I think we dodged a bullet there. I think they're particularly tough cookies, but there was certainly plenty of them.
Yeah, I don't want to meet those guys at all. That looked.
No.
I don't know where they were heading though. They would look like they were heading straight for the moat house.
Well, I'll be honest with you, that's not our problem anymore, but no doubt the people there that are building it will be able to defend it.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, I guess we better get moving. And you said you wanted to try and find another way across, right? Through the temple?
Yeah, so I think, just looking at the map here, there's a nice little cut through, I think, about there. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, so you guys make your way up. You guys take a little while, just stay on the ditch for a bit until you guys finally look around, make sure there's nobody around. You guys get back onto the road and start making your way up to go a little bit faster. And then around that bend there, you guys go into the trees. It's really, really thick trees, so you guys have to get off your horses and kind of lead them through. By this point, it's probably gotten to about noonish or so, maybe 1 p.m. It's been a pretty long trek so far. And then you guys get to the river there. Looking around, it doesn't look like there is any sort of old bridge or anything like that. But it does look like around that bend right there, it looks like it's probably like the thinnest the river gets and probably the shallowest. Lots of like rapids.
Yeah.
It looks, I won't say dangerous. It does look like it might be a little bit harrowing. But you guys should be able to cross there without too much trouble. So what do you want to do, Martin?
So Griff has got some rope with him, so he's going to say, right, I'm going to head on over here. Elmo, Alan, you grab the other end of the rope. Anything happens, pull us back in.
Okay.
And
So you're going first?
mm,
Okay.
yeah, of course.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you go first. Are you on your horse, or are you just leading it through? Like, are you leaving the horses
Well,
behind? What's the plan here?
yeah, I think. I mean, if the river's obviously deep, then he'll have a go with the horse.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not sure, then he'll head in, with the horse in tow.
Sounds good.
And if it gets a bit deeper, he'll get on the horse and carry on.
Yeah, so it does look like it's pretty deep, but it does look like you can sort of be on the horse as it's going through. It doesn't get so deep that it's all the way up, but the horse is having trouble getting through it a little bit, but just from both the weight of the rider and the water, it is able to slowly make itself across with you on it. And then you guys do make it to the other side of the river, you and the horse. All right. And you have the rope now
Um,
in your hand still, or the rope tied around you still?
yeah. So you'll untie the rope and shout to Elmo and say, hey Elmo, why don't you try and chop one of those trees down and maybe, I don't know, do you think you can build a little bridge? I don't know, far it is across the river.
Yeah, he says that might take a little while there, boss, but I mean, we can start working on it if you want. These trees
No,
are pretty big.
just come on over. I suppose you haven't got the time, and if we build a bridge and we can cross it, I guess someone else can, so...
Yeah. He says we can probably tie this rope on this side, though, to one of these trees if you want to tie that to that side, and we'll just have we
Yeah,
can just shimmy across a little bit.
that'll be a bit safer.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll see here. So you have yours tied off on that end, and they tie that off on their end. And the first one to go over, just to test it out, is Berg and Lee sort of come over to join your side, and then Naomi, and then as Bari, Kesa, and Nina are in the middle, Elmo and Alan are still on their side. You start to see movement in the water, both up from you and down. And you see what look like these serpentine like humanoids start to pop out of the water. They have almost like turtle shells on their backs, and they hiss, and you see them starting to march closer towards the middle of the group. So we're gonna go into combat here, Martin, and we'll see how many there are, because there could be quite a few from that roll.
Yeah.
9 of them. So yeah, so we'll say there's 4 on one side, 5 on the other, and then oh boy,
Not a good initiative, right?
oh
Ooh.
nice, there you go. You just to give you the idea, because there's a lot there. You, Berg, Lee, and Naomi are on one side on the right. Kesa, Nina, and Bari are currently in the river, like trying to ford it. And Elmo and Alan are on the other side in the back.
Right. So Griff will say, Elmo and Alan, you stay over there. Quick, you if the guys are sort of closer to my side, then Griff will say, come on over here, or go back. If
It looks like they're closer to your side, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, mate. Wait, we'll fend them off. We'll you cross. And
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, so it's probably gonna be 2 rounds for them to get there. So if you want them to use their actions to actually ford the river, since they'll actually be them exerting to get through there, so they'll do that. Okay, what do you want to do?
So do these look violent? Do they look like they're coming at us, or?
Yeah. They have like these weird sort of like bony kind of spears drawn that they've come out of the water. They seem to be swimming really easily. Not only that, they're walking through the water without too much trouble at all. Like they're walking through the water the way you walk on a field. They're having much less issue traversing. And there's 5 above, 4 below on both sides of the river.
So yeah, Griff will start firing an arrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's see what happens. He's also going to withdraw slightly from the bank. The idea being, perhaps they're really good in the water, but absolutely terrible on land. And if all they've got spears, then yeah,
sounds good to me.
We might be doing okay. These are much better rolls today.
Hey, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. All right, yeah. You fire one, and it gets it right in the throat, and the one down below just falls onto its back. And you start to see it sort of like weird turtle shell kind of back starts to float down the river, totally dead as red blood comes out of it and just starts to fill the water around it. So that's your turn. Nina, Kesa, and Bari use their turn to try and get across. Lee will fire off a shot at one of them as well. Do you want her to focus on... Now there's like a group of 3 and a group of 5. Do you want her to focus on the group of 3 or the group of 5?
Yeah, let's focus on the group of 3.
Okay, sounds good. So she fires off her crossbow. Oh, wow. Jesus. All right, she takes out another one and just fucking gets it right in the chest, and it joins its companion down in the water there as more red blood starts to show in the water. Okay. And Alan has no attack. Elmo has a bow. I'm assuming you just want whoever can attack to attack would be my guess.
Yeah.
So he'll fire off a bow. My God. Jesus. Okay, and the other one just gets immediately murdered. And is there anybody else who can fire off? Because most of the range guys are there. Naomi looks to you. She's like, "Do you want me to do anything?"
Not at the minute. I think we're doing okay, Naomi.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and so for their turn, it looks like let's see here. Those 3 are gone. So there's one guy there. It looks like the 5 on the one side are gonna keep moving in. But the one who's by himself decides to sort of back off and then just swim back down the way he came and starts going with the river, just saying sort of fuck this, and is done with this endeavor. But the other 5 start to move in on the 3 in the middle. I'll say only 3 can reach, and one's gonna go for each of them. Basically, they run down the river. And they start trying to stab at Bari, Kesa, and Nina. This one is on Bari. Does that hit Bari? Bari's AC, yeah, it does hit. So Bari's also now a leveled character as well, so I'm trying to see what he has. Okay, cool, he doesn't have anything that stops that. Alright, so he's gonna take the damage. And yeah, so for everybody who wants to know, Bari, Elmo, and Alan are now all leveled characters. They're still hirelings, but they've been here since the beginning, and now that they've gotten some experience, they've actually leveled. The rest are still not leveled, they're still just hirelings. Elmo is a level 2 warrior. Bari is a adventurer where he's a half expert, half warrior, and Alan is a level 1 warrior. So that was Bari hit, and then this one is going to be on Kesa. And this one is on Nina. Damn, everybody's fucking rolling all today. Jesus. Okay. Let's see here.
Bad damage, though.
Yeah, not great damage. Okay, so Nina's down 1 hit point. Yeah. Oh, no, she's down 2 because of the shock damage. She's down to 5 hit points, and Nina is down to 4 hit points. Okay. So that's their turn. The other 2 behind them are closing in. They look like they're almost making like a phalanx of spears that they're trying to do here, as the 3 are trying to get across. So next turn, it's your next turn there, Martin.
Yep. So I guess the 3 in the middle are gonna head as quick as they can over to the bank with their turn. And Griff is going to fire off another arrow at one of the 3 that have just attacked.
All right.
Come on.
Oh my God. Nice 18 there. Or 19. All right. Oh my God. Yep. Another one dies. Just gets taken down. The one who tried to stab Bari immediately takes a shot right to the head and goes down, nearly knocking into the horse that's carrying Bari, but is able to just sort of flow down the river. All right.
So he's going to shout over the river, "Come on, Elmo, get another one."
Yeah, and Elmo fires off a shot. He's going to re-roll that.
Yes.
Or no, sorry, he's just going to make it a hit, I should say. Cool. Which just kills that next one. I'm assuming he just takes the damage that we just rolled there anyway. So yeah, so just fucking domes another one, and they go down. And Lee has to reload. and Bari, Kesa, and Nina just try and use their turn to get across, which they finally do. They finally get over there. Naomi and Berg sort of help them, just grab the reins of the horses and pull them across through out of the white water, and everybody just gets pulled off. Seeing with this, I don't know if you could take any more shots, but with them now across the river and on both sides, you guys having people with arrows and bows and stuff, the others just jump into the water and try to swim away. And I'm assuming,
we'll let them go.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and they just float off down the river really rapidly, and then they disappear around the bend as quickly as they appeared. And then Elmo and Alan, gingerly sort of looking around, make their way back. Make their way across to you.
Well, that was interesting. Yeah. Well, I suppose you could expect that, couldn't you? And, right. Anyway, let's see what we can do. And he's going to try and heal some people.
Sounds good. Yep. I believe it was Bari, Kesa, and Nina are all hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one heal roll. Ooh.
Okay.
That's probably.
Yeah.
What does he need to roll to?
You can just re-roll that.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And I think you need an 8, I believe, because you have a healing kit. So I think it makes it an 8.
There
you go.
And another one.
I think it's a D6 on him. For healing. Nice, another one.
I'll just roll the third.
Yeah, I'll just roll. I'll roll the D6s for you.
Cool. Oh, that's a 7.
Yeah.
And I can try and roll that one again.
Yeah, you can. You can just. Well, this is part of the same scene. You can roll just again. They'll just get an extra system strain, basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's that. And then you got another one. Yeah, and I'll just roll the other D6 there. No. So Nina's at 6 out of 7. Kesa is back to full.
Cool.
And Bari is back to full.
Yeah. 6 out of 7's fine, I think, so.
All right. Yeah. No, that's pretty good. Yeah. She's pretty fine. All right. Yeah. So you guys make it across. You guys are actually, it's quite a nice scene here. Next in these trees, the nice rivers going by. There's still that worry of being so close to, so much bad shit that it's probably not the nicest place to be around. But you guys get all your horses and stuff together. And you start making your way up through the trees to the temple. You have effectively avoided Nulb spotting you going here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you make your way through the trees, and then there is a big clearing, and you see ahead of you these massive ruins. I'm going to just make your token vision just a little bit bigger for this one.
Yep.
Just for the time being. This will change back next time, but
yep.
I'll make it even bigger than that, actually.
I can see 5A in the corner. There we go.
So basically, yeah, it's all good because we'll probably be ending off here in a little bit. But you basically finally come out of the trees, come across a clearing, and you see what looks like a massive, devastated structure in front of you. It looks like it's been almost flattened to the ground, but is still holding on almost for dear life. You are now in front of the Temple of Elemental Evil, with all its secrets within. And we are going to end off there today, guys. For next time.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's so much shit coming, Martin.
Yeah.
We are
what can Griff see to the left and right of him? Is that more?
I think those are like the outer walls destroyed. Is that those?
Yeah, sort of around here.
Yeah. Basically, there was like a massive war, and then everything kind of just they basically fucking curb stomped the temple.
Yeah.
But obviously things are still going on.
Someone's keeping the trees up to look at that lovely row of trees there.
I know.
Yeah.
Good.
Must be a druid there somewhere.
I'll read out a little thing here too, just because there's a little box text. As you approach the temple area, the vegetation is disconcerting. Dead trees with a skeletal appearance, scrub growth twisted and naturally colored, all unhealthy and sickly looking or exceptionally robust and disgusting. The
Mm.
ruins of the temple's outer works appear as dark and overgrown mounds of gray rubble and blackish weeds. Skulls and bones of humans and humanoids gleam white here and there amidst the weeds. A grove of some oddly stunted and unhealthy looking usk trees still grow along the northern end of the former temple compound, and a stump of a tower juts up from the northeast corner of the shired wall. The leprous gray temple, however, stands intact, its arched buttresses somehow obscene with their growth of climbing vegetation. Everything surrounding the place is disgusting. The myriad leering faces and twisted, contorted forms writhing and posturing on every face of the temple seem to jape at the obscenities they depict. And yeah, you
Nice.
are now at the Temple of Elemental Evil. They're spooky.
Yes. Yeah, we want to take this one carefully.
Absolutely. No, I'm very excited. I'm glad we finally got here.
Yeah.
And next session will probably be mostly just a fucking temple exploration game. But I hope you guys had fun watching this. This is a little bit of like a little bit of a time skip, sort of status quo change. We have some now more powerful hirelings. I will say that shock problem is going to basically go away for both Elmo and Alan, because anything that's not immune to shock, both of them have two different foci that make everybody have basically shock or AC 10 for the purposes of shock. So they're going to start just like eating through people pretty fast, which is nice. So hopefully there won't be as much swing I miss going through. But they all began their worth in gold, Martin, out of you.
Yeah. Well, it's better than sort of rolling and hitting one every 8
Oh my
times.
god!
So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, so it should be pretty good. But yeah, no, I'm very excited. Thank you guys, and we will see you next week for the next episode.
Cheers, guys.